people listen to like they listen on like almost like such an elementary level in the beginning, right? Like there's that real, like I sent everybody a book out for Christmas last year. It was called Pitch Anything, and in the book he talks about the crocodile, the midbrain, and then the neocortex, right? And it's like how people receive information. So I think like the biggest issue with like trying to keep it as simple as possible, because at the end of the day, all you guys are just advisors. You shouldn't be going into the weeds with anything on anyone. That's not your job. There's licensed professionals like CPAs, if you're talking about a tax credit, that they could go to get better information. And if you want to be the guy that provides it, then, you know, reach out to some CPAs and see if anybody's knowledgeable. And then you have a point of reference of who you can connect on the call when that question comes up. Like, instead of leaving it up to them to go search for it, if that's your concern, then have somebody in your phone book that you can call three-way and get that answer for them, right? We talked about it yesterday. Use manager calls to leverage the deal, because all you're really there to do is advise, right? And so if all you're there is to do is advise, then you need to know, like, where in the process am I to get this person signed up? Because if all we're there to do is, again, advise, then we're doing marketing and sales, right? We're not doing anything other than marketing and sales. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if your concerns, you know, again, we're like the technical stuff, yes, it's great for you to know it, but it's also better for you to just connect them with somebody who knows it. Because it's crazy how they'll trust a stranger that you connected to them more than they'll trust you, but it will build trust. It's called edification. It's like literally, like I used to be a part of an organization, and how you promoted and got everything excited for everybody was through edification. Like you would talk up the guy, and then when you introduced them to the guy would talk about you, and that was edification. And that was like a mind hack for people to be in belief of not just you, but now this complete stranger that you connected them to, but they, for some reason, now trust you more. It's just because it's called edification, and people trust that sourcing, right? They trust that. So, yeah. So, you know, having a sales process is going to be really beneficial, because if you don't know why someone's saying yes, it's because you just didn't cover something in that process. And you shouldn't be getting into the weeds with anybody. You should just be covering the information in the steps of the process. So, yeah, like when people ask me questions in the middle of my presentation, like I'll stop and like acknowledge it, right? And a lot of people might think it's an objection that you're having to handle right there on the spot, and it's not. You know, it's just like you just acknowledge it, and I'll even like write it down and say, okay, cool, I just wrote that down, and I'm going to cover this in just a moment. I'll let you know when we get there. And then I just keep going on with my process, because if people listen from this crocodile brain, then the midbrain, then the neocortex, the first brain is fight or flight. So if we can't break past that, we're never going to get to the logical part of the brain, which is the neocortex. So that's why the process gives you a way to walk yourself into there, you know, into their logic. So we use emotion, we use stories in this process, but you don't need to worry about too much of all that. You just need to know, okay, what is step 1? What is step 2? What is step 3, 4, 5, 6? And if you're at 6 and you haven't done 2 or 3 yet, even if they sign the deal, you're likely to get it canceled. Because we need to educate people at a pace that's appropriate with the right information in the right time. And that's the point of having a sales process. You also cannot duplicate random, right? Like if you want to build a team, like, you know, we got Tim on the call, and I'm pretty sure half the call is on Tim's team, right? So for Tim to duplicate his efforts, he needs a sales process, because he needs to know where everybody is at in the close. Why are they not signing up? Well, have you talked to them about this or this? I can show an example of a mistake on my end. I messed up, and the customer's having a hard time signing the docs, and it's because I skipped steps in my process. And it's like, Well, go figure. Well, no wonder that's why you need a process, because it educates the person at a pace that's appropriate with the information that they need to make a decision in the right timing. Because it's not just about the right information, it's about the right order of how they receive that information. And that process will help you duplicate, which means it's something that everyone can do. And because it's a process that we all do, I can now figure out where you're struggling, and we can focus on that part of the process so you can really dial it in and get better at your pitch, at your close, right? So that's why I want to cover the 6-step sales process. It seems like a lot of people were new. So it's, and if you're not new, but you're wanting to refresh, it doesn't matter. This is going to be a great training. It's not going to go into too much detail. This is going to be super like elevator type, or I guess what's the like a bird's eye view. I think that's is the right term. It's going to be bird's eye view, but it's going to be a process. And the more that you implement a process into your life, I think the more predictable you can become in your sales. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, that's good. He's trying to present something on screen.
Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so step 1, we have the trial close. So who knows what the trial close is? If you know what the trial close is, raise your hand. Cool, Jordan, let's role play. I'm the customer, you're the salesperson, do a trial close.
Well, if I'm correct, the trial close was when you're asking them questions about their situation and then asking, cool, so if we could, this is general, if we could essentially solve that for you, would that help you out?
All right, so let's do a role play. Call me. Let's do it.
Ring, ring.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going today, Kale?
It's good. Who's this?
Yeah, this is your solar advisor, Jordan. You actually responded to one of our ads in Grasshopper Home Efficiency in regards to solar.
Okay, yeah, that was me.
Cool. Hey, I actually don't have a lot of time because I have to get on another call here soon. Are you okay if we just hop into it?
Sure. What's up?
Cool. So what I really want to do, but before I really know if we could actually help you out just yet, I want to understand your situation a little bit better. Because if I do that, then I know what options we can actually do if you get approved to move forward. So I'm just curious, how long you been looking into solar for?
This for the last, I think, like the last 6 weeks.
The last 6 weeks?
Yeah. I talked to
Okay.
like 2 or 3 people.
Oh, you did? Okay. So who have you talked to before?
Just some other companies.
Really? Okay. So what
Yep.
did you like? What did you not like about those other companies?
I mean, they were good, just I'm just kind of getting my 5 quotes, and then I'm going to evaluate everything from there. So, but yeah, they seemed, everything seemed pretty fine. They seemed like good people.
Definitely. So, Kale, what is it exactly that you're actually looking for? What are you hoping to get out of solar?
So, everybody says online it's free. They say that you can save money. So yeah, I mean, if it's free and I can save money, I see why not.
Yeah, so Kale, I have to be upfront. It's actually not free. What they're more talking about is that it's no upfront cost, so you're not going to be coming out of pocket to go solar, but it is something that you have to be approved for. Essentially, what the entire goal is with the people that we work with is to help them transition from paying the utility company and burning their money by renting their power to paying themselves with ownership.
Okay, so cut. Okay, so no, there. So we missed the trial close, right? Like now we're moving into explaining how it works, and I feel in my so the structure of the trial close is very dynamic, right? So now obviously this is maybe I didn't really set the call up right. Maybe I was kind of lost myself. I was like, wait, is this a first call or a second call? So, but let's just go based off if this was like a second call. It's more so. So the trial close is going to be, how long have you been in the home? Do you like the neighborhood? Do you plan on sticking around for a while? Those are the first three questions, right? So how long have you been in the neighborhood? Why am I asking that question? Because I want to know how much history you have in the home with electrical costs. Okay. Second question is, do you like the neighborhood? Why am I asking that? It's a transition question. It's a way to chuckle, a little bit of chuckle builds a little bit of trust. Right? So how long have you guys been in the neighborhood? Oh, wow, that's amazing. 10 years. Congratulations. I try to find a way to congratulate somebody whenever there's something that's kind of unique. If it's 10 years, it's like, oh, dude, most people leave in 5. Congratulations. That's awesome. I don't know. It's just positive. So do you like the neighborhood? And if they've been there for 10 years, it's a chuckle because of course they like the neighborhood, right? Like why else would they be living there? But I'm using that as a transition to get to the third question. Do you plan on sticking around for a while? Why do I want to know that question? Are you going to sell in 5 years or are you going to die in the home? Why is that important? Well, what's important to the client? Is it I'm going to die in the home and I want to spend as little as I can on electricity? Okay, great. I'm going to tailor my pitch to talk about that, which it's not going to be a monthly payment. If that's your goal to spend a little bit, it's an oxymoron, but if you want to spend the smallest amount, you actually need to pay the most today. If you want to pay overall smallest amount, right? So it's like you want to know how long have they been in the home, because if they got here 2 months ago, cool. I need to tailor my pitch to let them know, hey, I got to disclose that I don't know what you're going to use in 12 months from now. So we kind of have to come up with an average together, and I can build the design based on that. Right? Like it helps you figure out who you're talking to. That's why we ask those 3 questions, but really we're trying to get 2 out of it. And then Jordan, you said, first of all, I would say your entry though is I love how you begin the call. I will say that, man. Like you totally have me feel like it's not a sales call. It was super. I like the vague. I like the, hey, and that order and all that stuff that you did. So like that was really, really good. I'm just saying like the trial close though is very strategic. It's like, how long you been in the home? Do you like the neighborhood? Do you plan on sticking around for a while? I'm asking these questions because I want to gather information as to what their background is and what their plans are. This is going to help me set up my pitch. From there, I'm going to do discovery to figure out why are they looking into it, what's going to make them want to do it, and what's going to stop them from doing it. So in the part where I said in the call, I've spoken to 3 different customers. You immediately said, who did you sit with and what did you like and what did you not like? So I feel like you should like be different than what everyone else would say, right? And so I feel like a different way to approach that is, A, you follow the trial close, it's gonna work out this way, right? But 2, just listen. So when someone says, I've already spoken to people, it's not that you are asking who did you sit with and what did you like and who did you not like. I like to do like a step around to that question. So, oh, cool, you've spoken to somebody else before. Do you remember what it was that had you looking into this? So I'm not trying to bring up thoughts, because what if they were bad thoughts? I don't want to bring up those bad thoughts, right? Like they're trying to make a decision to go solar. So I want to remind them of why, because they didn't go solar with those other companies.
Right.
So we already know that, because we wouldn't be talking today if you went solar with those other companies. So instead, what was it? Remind them, what was it that had you sit down with them? And then they would say the reason that they wanted to go solar in the first place. And then it's like a step around question. So what made you sit down with, or, I'm sorry. So what was it that had you look into it in the first place? Oh, to save money and it was free. Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. So did they tell you that it was free? Did they save you guys money, or what, do you remember what the experience was like? Just use their answer in my question. So now they feel heard. So that I'm, if you can pick up these little communication keys, right? Because I posted a video today on my Instagram, like sales is just about effective communication. So how do you communicate well? You listen, effective listening, right? And so how do you listen well? You repeat to them what they said to you. And it makes them feel heard, because no one does that. So I just repeat to them. So is it that reason, or do you remember what the experience was like? Did they tell you it was free? Did they save you money, or what was the experience like? No, it wasn't free and it cost more money. Oh, okay, cool. What were you expecting? You see how this conversation can flow differently? And the best part is if you follow the trial close, we're going to hit all these nuggets along the way, right? So I'm not going to get into the weeds on the trial close, but what we'll do, Jordan, if you want to go again real quick, or Dante, I see you have your hand up. I'll call on you in just a second. Jordan, I'll do the trial close with you, and then we'll move on. And then, we have two from Tim as well. Cool.
Okay, so now I'm the customer.
Yeah, you'll be the customer, but let me
Cool.
answer these questions real quick, and then we'll role play.
Yes.
All right, Dante, what's up?
No, I was gonna say if we can do the trial close whenever Jordan's done.
Oh, yep, exactly. Yeah. Tim, was that what you were going to do as well?
My bad. I didn't mean to raise my hand. My bad.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, Jordan, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Jordan.
Yes? Who's this?
Hold on. First off, my bad. Is this first phone call or second phone call?
Let's just do second phone call.
Okay, cool. Ring.
Hey, Kel. How's it going, man?
What's up, Jordan? Hey, yeah, appreciate it. So, hey, so I know that we have time right now. I've got another appointment in like 45 minutes. Are you okay if we get started?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for that. So, Jordan, is this your first time looking into solar, or you looked into it in the past?
I've looked into it in the past.
In the past?
Yep.
Okay, great. So how long have you guys lived in the home?
We've been here for 3 years.
3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, man. So you guys like the neighborhood, or?
Yeah, we love it here. It's super relaxing. Like, our neighbors are never outside, and I don't know, it kind of feels private.
That's cool. So do you know your neighbors?
No, not at all.
You don't
But
know
I
your
don't
neighbors?
mind. Yeah, I don't mind though. We all just kind of stick to ourselves.
It's crazy. So I live in a city and I got people like 2 inches away from me, and we don't talk to each other.
Yeah, that's how it is here, man.
But I went to Montana. You ever been to Montana?
Oh yeah. What part?
Yeah, by Kalispell.
Oh my
like
God, I
Glacier
spent
National
3
Park.
weeks there.
Yep.
I spent
Dude.
3 weeks there.
So when you go up there, I got family up there, and they know everybody.
Oh wow, yeah, they
We all
do.
live on like 2-3 acres. So it's funny. The farther apart you get, the closer you get with other people. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, man. So you guys like want to stick around for a while, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you think so?
Yes, sir. Probably for at least another, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
10. Oh, okay, 10 or 15 more years. Do you guys have kids then, or what's the reason behind that?
No, we just really like the area. We don't have kids right now. We don't know exactly what that plan is going to be, but just us
Mhm.
right now. I don't know. we got a pretty good house in a pretty good area, and it's close to work, so it just works for us.
Yeah, you have a pretty cool house. It's close to work. That's really very unique, actually. That's awesome, man.
Yes,
Good for
sir.
you. So you said that you sat down with somebody in the past. Do you remember what it was that had you looking into solar, or do you remember what the experience was like?
Not really, because it's been a couple years. But we were just trying to save money. It just didn't seem like we were gonna really be doing that though.
Okay, so you were trying to save money, but it didn't really look like you were able to do that.
Yep.
Okay, I understand. Do you remember who it was that you sat down with?
No, I don't. Like maybe like Sun Tria, I think, or something like
Mhm.
that.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So have you and your wife, have you guys talked about, what had you looking into solar again this time?
Yeah, just to try to get another stab at it. I know that a lot of stuff has changed, and technology is a little bit better than it was, 3 years ago. So we're just trying to see if it'll be different this time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If technology was different and better improved, I might take a second look at it myself. I agree with you 100%. So have you guys talked about it though? Like what would actually make you want to go solar? Like, is there one thing that you're actually looking to achieve?
Yeah, well, our last bill was 436, which is a lot. It's kind of running us dry, man. So we're trying to bring that down, but and just see what we can actually do about that, because we're kind of drowning in that right now.
You're drowning in it?
A little bit.
Yeah. You said that was for 3 months?
No, that was the last month.
That was last month's.
Yep, that was last month.
Oh, George, I understand. I understand. I thought you were saying that was for 3 months. That's for 1 month.
Yep.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So is there anything that you're concerned about, or anything that would stop you from going solar, or any reason why you haven't gone solar yet so far?
Yeah. Well, I think like the last time I looked at it, it was like $5,000 I had to like put into it. So I don't know, man. Like I don't have that. Like I'm trying to lock in my bill and not have to, spend $5,000 to do it.
Got it. So they were going to make you pay $5,000 left, and that's why it didn't save you money. Is basically what you came out to, because you had to pay
Well, it was
$5,000.
well, it was that, but like my bill at the time was like $212, and it was still going to be like $300. Going solar at the time, which obviously, I guess looking back at it now, still would have been nice, but we were drowning then, they were drowning worse now.
Yeah, does sound. Yeah, I would agree. Sounds like you are drowning. Okay. So, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
So, if there was a program where you could go solar now, and you didn't have to worry about it costing you $5,000, you actually didn't have to worry about it costing you any money out of pocket at all, and we could do our best to lock in the bill, like you said, like you mentioned. I think maybe saving money. It might just be more like a bill swap, and we lock it in so it doesn't go up, like you've been mentioning. But if we could make sure that we could at least lock that in, so that way you do start saving money right away, would something like that help you?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So I don't know what I can promise. We have like 12 different programs. But if you'd like, what we could do is I could explain how the utility company works, how solar works, the warranties, explain the net metering program with the electric company where you partner with them. And then we just kind of, just take it from there.
Sure.
Sound good?
Yep.
Cool. Boom. That's the trial close. So the questions I asked were, how long have you been in the house? And by the way, did you see how it's not like I'm just robotically asking the questions? Did you see the conversations that were created? Did you see the rapport that was created? Got him laughing, brought down the wall, started telling me about his family, his neighborhood, right? Like there was conversation. We connected on Montana. Oh shit. Yeah, there's a connection. This is called building trust with people, right? So it's not just rudimentary, ask the questions in the script. It's be a human being and bring this to the script. Bring yourself into the script. You got to look at the script like a skeleton, and you are adding your flesh into it, right? Like, and it's a little bit morbid. I'm sorry for that analogy. I got to come up with a better one, but it's a skeleton and you're adding yourself to it. So there are points to build rapport. So what are we doing? We're building rapport, but we're being effective with our communication because we're actually accomplishing something. And we're not guessing on the questions. So how long have you been in the house? Do you like the neighborhood? How long do you plan on sticking around? Do you plan on sticking around for a while? Then we move into the discovery part, which is this your first time looking into solar? Have you looked into it in the past? Do you remember who it was, or do you remember what it was that had you looking into it in the first place? Do you remember who it was that you sat down with, or what the experience was like? Do you remember, or do you know why you guys are looking into it again? Do you know what would actually make you want to do it? Do you know what would stop you from doing it? Okay, great. Can I ask you a question? So those are the questions, right? And if you go into the script, those questions are all in there. That's why I'm not writing it out, because it's easier for me to just say it, and you can go into the script and look at it. But those are the questions that we're asking, right? And when we get to the point of, okay, great, do you mind if I ask you a question? This is the close. This is the trial close. Okay? And all you're doing is you're saying, okay, great. So if I can make sure it doesn't cost you $5,000, if I can keep away all your fears, all your uncertainty, if I can keep away all the doubt. So if I can make sure you don't have to pay $5,000 and it's not going to cost you any money out of pocket, and we can actually make sure it's less than what you're going to pay it, with the electric company. And then also we can, and we go into what did they want? What was it that they wanted? Some people are going to tell you independence. Some people are going to tell you batteries. Some people are going to say, well, we get great outages all the time, like down in Louisiana. So whatever they tell you, you're going to say, as long as I can keep you away from this and give you this, would that help you? Nobody's going to say no to that question. Why? Because people feel heard when you repeat to them what they said. It's awkward, and you have to get past the awkwardness. But when you repeat what someone says and shut up, they almost always elaborate because they want to be understood. Think about you yourself. You get frustrated when you're trying to communicate something to somebody and you can tell it's just not clicking, because day after day after day, nothing changes, right? We're all the same human beings with the same shit going on in our lives. So when we finally come across the path with somebody who's skilled with communication, which is very simple, if you listen to me, it's just listening to what they say and repeating it to them. What does this do? You absorb what they're saying so you can be in the moment, present with them, which helps you be authentic and real. But it also tells them that you're listening, and then they buy into you because you're listening to them, right? So we're being effective. We're asking 5, I think it's like 8 questions or something like that. 9 questions. But they're not like fumbling through what questions to ask to get to the next part. No, they're like strategic questions to figure out what's your history in the home, what's your plan in the home, How much have you looked into this? Who have you spoken to? By the way, did you see how effective that was when they say I've sat down with somebody and then you go the way that I kind of just showed you how to go there? He started digging up without me having to. I never asked him what he didn't like about them. Never once did I ask him what he didn't like about them. He told me. So it's not me getting the information, it's him. And why is that important? Because for something to be real in our life, we have to internalize it inside of our brain, inside of us first. Before anything comes real in your life, it becomes a thought. A thought becomes an idea becomes an action over an extended period of time becomes results. Right? So it's strategic questions that we're asking.